Oh. All right. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got?
Keep going, though, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that, man. Holy fucking shit! So good. Yo, Captain Turn. I didn't know what was going on there. Man. Fucking got him. Fucking got him, dude. Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game. Are you ready? I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite.
Ready?
Bitch.
Always still don't get from you. Always still don't get from you. Always still don't get from you. Always have to steal nothing from you.
Oh. All right. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got?
Keep going, though, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that, dude, man. Holy fucking shit! So good. Yo, Captain Turn. I didn't know what was going on there. Man. Fucking got him. Fucking got him, dude. Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game. Are you ready? I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite.
Ready?
Bitch.
Always still don't get from you. Always still don't get from you. Always still don't get from you. Always have to steal nothing from you.
Oh. All right. Let's show us what's in the box. Top secret.
First one is for Grizz.
Oh.
What?
Hang on. What do we got?
Keep going, though, man. You're doing good. Yes! Dude, you punched the fuck out of that, dude, man. Holy fucking shit! So good. Yo, Captain Turn. I didn't know what was going on there. Man. Fucking got him. Fucking got him, dude. Holy shit. Dude, good game. Fucking good game. Are you ready? I knew it!
Cap, look at my fish.
Oh, wow.
It's my little bite.
Ready?
Bitch.
Always.
G'day, mate.
Yeah. G'day.
Good day, good day, good day.
Good sirs.
How the fricks are going, Caging Runt? Good to see you, mate.
The old Runtosaurus.
Brontosaurus Rex.
Mm-hmm.
The terrifying one.
Pav's actually room looks fucking half decent. Pav, what's going on, mate?
It's just unpacked. It's just half unpacked boxes.
Hey, g'day, Sooks. Hey, g'day, Rowie. Fucking hell, mate.
Yo,
Been a while,
Rowie.
G'day, legends.
Sukai, how are you, mate?
Hope you're going well, mate. Yeah.
We've got a big episode. I reckon we get stuck into it.
You want to get?
I reckon start now. Start now. Forever hold your
We
peace.
can
Have we
chat.
actually got music tonight?
That's a great question.
Shit.
In 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, buddy, how's it going? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. This is Oceanic Gaming Radio. That's OG, baby. My name's Captain Perth, and we're here to bring you all of the week's latest gaming news. Alongside me, my good friends Pavlova Face and Grizzly Gaming 86. Fellas, how are we?
Oh, beautiful. Doing good, legend.
You sound good.
Oh,
You sound good, Cap. How are you going, mate? You good?
I feel a lot better than last episode.
Come out of the cold and flu, mate.
Yeah, I've still got this incessant cough. But yeah, it's been brutal actually. It's probably one of the worst colds I've ever had, which makes me wonder if maybe it was just COVID and I just couldn't get a positive result.
COVID 2.0,
But I had-
dude.
Yeah.
When I had COVID, Cap, I only tested positive for 1 day, mate. So
Yeah,
if you don't
well,
get
there you
that
go.
window, maybe
Well,
you're.
that's the thing, dude, because I had 2 PCRs and like 4 or 5 rat tests, none tested positive.
Really? Jeez.
Yeah.
mate.
So,
Wow.
but I'm kind of like, because I caught up with my mum and dad a little while back, and they've now got COVID. I'm kind of like, but I don't know.
oh
You just don't know.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah,
don't know.
shit.
And I can't prove
Yeah.
that I had it either. So it's just crazy. But I'm feeling much better.
I was with you the day before you started to feel shit. I'm pretty sure at Moosey's, right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Well, I
right,
thought you'd
right.
just come off a cold or something.
I did. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
come off. I
And
had
so
just had a
did
week
Pav.
off.
Pav had just had COVID. So maybe Pav transmitted it to me. But yeah, basically feeling a lot better. Just got this residual kind of cough, and my congestion's slowly starting to ease. And when I finished the episode last week, I was like, I had lost breath. Like it was a hard episode for me to finish. Like it was really
Dude,
tough.
We do a lot of talking in an hour. It's like an hour and a half
Oh,
of
yeah.
talking, and you usually do more than me. So, mate, you just it's a tough
Yeah.
one, mate.
I try to avoid talking normally during my day. So yeah, but look, Pav, what's been happening, mate?
dude, living the dream.
Yeah.
Oh no, we just had a drop. We just had a drop. Oh my
Oh,
god.
we had a drop.
How bad was it?
Gentlemen.
Not
That's okay.
a split second. Okay. So
It'll be
hopefully there's not many more of that because it didn't come at the same time. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm
we have
doing
been
good.
slowly working it, figuring it out. But yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't come in the recording because I'm recording on a completely different setup. So I'm very hopeful. Very hopeful.
I'm sure you've got it sorted, mate. Pav's got 2 dedicated rooms now, 2 PC chairs, 2 everything.
We'll sort our shit out one day.
Yeah, I'm confident.
yeah.
I'm confident the recording is going to be good. I'm going good. I actually streamed on the weekend, guys.
Holy shit.
Oh.
I know.
How was your stream train, Pav? How was your
Stream training was good. I was severely underprepared, so it didn't go as well as it went as well as I hoped because I wasn't expecting it. I was so unprepared. But I streamed this weekend as well. I played Cult of the Lamb,
Oh,
my
yes.
God.
Yeah.
and
So good.
it was everything you all led it up to me. It was fantastic. I loved it.
It's so good.
So
It is
enjoyable.
really good. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Great
did. They absolutely nailed the brief on that. I need to
Yeah.
go back and give it some more love. I think
Now,
at some point in time.
Pav, the most important thing I want to talk to you about is a little birdie told me that a bunch of single ladies are moving on
let's
your
not talk
stream.
about no, let's not talk about this on the stream.
Serious. I heard of this.
Not
came
on the
through the
podcast,
grapevine.
dude. Not on the podcast. Oh god.
Pav's got a new house, and there's all the single ladies coming down, baby. Let's go. So I'm ready. I'm ready to support Pav on his journey.
Yeah,
Up
gotta
and
get
down the
ready to
street.
mingle. I'll be hitting the gym, guys. I might not have time for play.
Get in the
for
gym,
party.
mate. Get
Dude,
fit.
just set up the podcast and then do the rest of the podcast from the gym.
Yeah,
know?
that's
Yeah,
not a bad
we can see
idea.
up in the-
Not a bad idea. Oh, God,
Yeah.
God damn it,
Well,
Callum.
That's very
Surely you
exciting.
fly the twitch.tv/Oceanic Gaming Radio above your house so that they come and check out the podcast. Surely,
Oh,
Pat.
mate.
That's
Surely.
that's one way
Yeah.
to get rated.
Oh, yeah. Chuck that in your Tinder profile. That'll get them in.
Yeah.
Now, Grizzo, you told me that you had something
Yeah, I've got
quite
a story
spectacular to tell me.
No, dude, it's not spectacular. It's just fucking pinnacle Grizzly 86 stupidity is what it is. I had
my favorite.
I just knew that you'd have a giggle. I've had a week of lots of drinking. I'm never drinking again, Cap. I've decided I'm becoming
I feel like you say that every week.
yeah, possibly. No, but I had I caught up with some mates that I haven't seen for a while. They're old work mates, but you'd be interested in this. We went to this bar, right? And it was a bourbon bar. And do you know how you go to those breweries and they serve you like the beer platter? You might get like 3 or 4 different beer tastings. And
Yep.
this was a bourbon tasting, and each bourbon was accompanied with a different style of bacon that was cooked a different way. And he would
Ah,
eat the bacon and then sip on the bourbon as like, and it was like this little tasting tasting thing.
damn.
Absolutely incredible, mate. Incredible. Anyway, the end of the night, Cap, 2:30 is when I left the city to go home, AM. So extremely tired and really quite out of it. I ordered an Uber, right? And I was waiting for my Uber, and this car came past, and I just hailed him, thinking it was my Uber. And I was like, "Oh, hey, mate, are you an Uber?" And he's like, "Yep." Hopped in this dude's car,
Oh my god.
and he was like, "Actually, mate, I'm an Ola." I was like, "Oh, I don't have Ola, but I've booked an Uber." And he was like, "Oh, just install the Ola app." I installed the Ola app on my phone,
Oh my god.
and then I tried to book him through it, and he goes, "Oh, it's not working. It's so weird. Just transfer me $120 and I'll take you home." I was like, "Okay."
$120?
Yeah, well, dude, I live in fucking like North Albany, like a long way south. So
Yeah,
that,
but it
it's
wouldn't be
like-
$120.
Well,
Surely
maybe not.
not.
Anyway, listen to this. Listen to this. So I transferred this dude $120 to take me home. He took me home, and then it also turned out that it did connect to his Ola, and so the Ola paid him as well. So when I woke up in the morning, I lost $200. It was $80 Ola and $120 taxi fare from this.
My god, Grizz.
My
you
wife was just like-
dingus.
My wife was just like, she actually called me, and she was like, because whenever I do a transaction, it will send a message to her phone, and same thing. She's
Yeah.
like, well, you've just given some random person $120. Who else? It's my taxi driver.
You
Anyway.
idiot.
Yeah, so-
Oh my god. Yeah.
That was-
okay. Yep.
That was my Thursday. I've been saving that one to tell you on the podcast,
Yeah.
because I thought it was a
That's
was a
that's such a don't talk to strangers story. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Like, you just got
Well-
into a random car. Is this me Uber? I can only imagine
it was real dodgy. And
Jesus.
he's like, "Yeah, no, I'm not your. I'm an Ola." And I was like, and I had to install it, and it was just like a big.
Oh
fuck
my
around,
god,
yeah.
dude, that's so funny.
The funny thing is, dude, I was drunk. I was trying to put his bank details in, and I put it in wrong the first time, and I was like, "Oh, fuck!" It was just like, just
Oh
a complete
no.
complete comedy of
Oh,
errors,
dude,
mate,
I
you know?
can't believe that. Well, I can believe it because it's you, but still.
Mm.
Wow. So did you retrieve any of the money?
No, all gone. So that was a nice way to
$200 fucking
Plus-
Uber home.
plus the fucking drinks on the night. It was an expensive night, Cap. It was an
Holy
expensive night,
shit,
mate,
dude. Oh my god.
but You only live once, mate. Sometimes
mate.
these things happen.
Holy
Yeah,
shit,
get
mate.
scammed.
You were truly living that to its fullest potential. Wow.
What about you,
okay.
mate? Yeah, quick update from you, Cap. What have you been doing, mate? What's been happening?
Yeah, look, not an awful lot. I didn't feel great last week, so I kind of just cruised. Yeah, I've really been doing an awful lot. Hey, I caught up with a couple of mates over the weekend, had a couple of birthday parties on the same day, so did that. We've been slowly getting the baby room together. We put a few pictures up on the weekend, so that was pretty cool. And bought the baby the car seat. Car seats
Oh,
purchased.
very
So that's
nice.
good.
Yes,
Yep.
yes.
So slowly the room's filling up. But other than that, mate, not an awful lot. Been playing a little bit of Final Fantasy Online. If you're out there
Ooh la
and you're
la.
playing on Ravana, the Oceanic server, hit your boy up. Just hit me on Twitter or some shit. I don't know. Big Clappo, two
Ravana.
words. I'm on there.
Was this something in particular got you back in, Cap, or was just you got
well,
the MMO tickle, mate?
yeah, just kind of wanted something to fill my time with. I don't really like playing Dota by myself, and most of the blokes have been kind of a little bit quiet on the Dota front. So I thought,
Yeah.
fuck it, I'll play a bit of Final Fantasy Online. The only other thing I've really got sort of ready to go in the background is PoE once I get a chance to jump on there with you. So
That's what I've been playing. Yeah, I've been smashing the PoE.
we'll see how long it holds my attention. But
yeah,
so that's basically about it. But Grizz, we've got so much to fucking talk about.
We do, mate. Let's
so much to
dig
talk
into
about.
it. Mhm,
Now, before we do anything, I just want to thank our wonderful Patreons. As always, bloody appreciate you big time. Now, yeah, you guys can become Patreons too. It's just so simple. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/OGR show, and you too can waste your money by giving us that money. And again, going all towards Pav's. Well, depending on what happens with his PC setup, and I mean, it seems like I don't think we've had any more dropouts, so we might be okay, but we'll see. Anyways, Patrons, thank you so much. Fucking appreciate you guys continually coming out each month or however often the payments go out and supporting us. So, Sukai, Moosey, Hohen Honey, Caging Runt, Sergeant Paul, and Lee GD. Appreciate you bloody legends. Now, did we? I hope that we fixed Lee's name in the spreadsheet here, Pav, because I can't remember if I did or not. Who did it? Was it Grizz? Oh, it was Grizz.
I think I put it in there and fucked it up. That was my bad. Yeah, sorry
classic. Okay.
Mhm.
Anyways, I think it's been rectified after HR was consulted. But anyway, huge week, big week of gaming news. We had Gamescom. Okay, so we're going to be doing a big Gamescom wrap up. So without further ado, let's get stuck into it. Okay, the OGR Gamescom wrap up. Now, Gamescom happens every year. I think it's been happening since about 2009. German gaming convention hosted by like the German gaming arts division or some shit. But yeah, so they have this every year, and it tends to be well, I mean, at the moment, it's pretty much the only real physical major gaming convention they have, apart from not obviously E3's not been around for a little bit, Grizz. Due to COVID reasons. But yeah, Gamescom has persisted and had a ripper showing, I think.
Oh, there's a lot of exciting stuff in this, Cap, and I'm excited to work through it with you. But yeah, heaps of stuff to be excited about, and probably some things that we didn't know were coming too, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, let's just start from the top. So we've picked out a bunch of kind of main things that we want to really have a chat about. And then we're going to sort of just quick fire a bit of Gamescom stuff that we think you guys might be interested in too. So to begin, PS5, PlayStation, Sony, your boys, the guys who did God of War, etc. They're bringing out a new DualSense controller called the Edge Wireless Controller. Now, Grizz, this seems to kind of be their, I guess, answer to the Xbox Elite controller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like a pro version of the controller, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we see some pretty interesting little bits in here, Cap. I'll start at the top bullet point. So they're talking, first piece here is ultra customizable controls. So the ability to remap and deactivate specific buttons and inputs on the controller itself, and kind of be able to tie these to like an existing profile, so you can kind of swap between. You might have different button layouts for different games, and you can swap between those mappings of your controllers, saving these on profile, which is pretty cool. I quite like that. Although I do kind of feel, Cap, that most games have the ability to remap them. And I guess
I kind of felt the same way, Grizz. Like I kind of thought, how useful is this? I suppose having something that's kind of, because I believe it's onboard, Grizz, so you can take that controller with you. Now maybe I'm wrong, but that was kind of the reading that I
no, I agree. I agree.
Which is I think that's where it becomes useful, right? Is onboard mapping. If it was tied to your PlayStation, obviously the usefulness becomes less and less. But I mean, if you go into a mate's house, you want to take your controller over. You know, you've got it there. But I do agree, like it's custom mapping seem less and less useful these days, with that tending to be part of the settings.
Yeah, and it also depends where you use this, because I use my PS5 controller a lot on my PC cap, and you can have the ability to do pretty much what you do on the Pro controller through, if you're using like a program on your PC to pick your controller up, you can map it so the buttons do different things, bits and pieces. But one thing in this that is interesting that is tied to this whole control profiles bit, Cap, is you can adjust like the triggers. So for example, the haptic feedback triggers when they engage, and certain bits and pieces. You can mess with the dead zone on your control sticks, and
which I think for a lot of FPS gamers that's massive. You know, like I think controlling dead zone, not that I really know an awful lot about it, because I just pick up a fucking controller and off I go, mate. But I think dead zone is one of the consistently, I mean, even thinking about emulators and stuff like that for, you know, Super Nintendo and bits and pieces, often the dead zone is programmable. So having that customizable out of the box for a console like this, I think is pretty specky. But yeah.
Agreed. So where do you think? So I agree with you. I think the way that this will work, Cap, is I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at the buttons on the back, but I believe there might be just like a profile switch that you can swap between 3 different profiles potentially on board the controller, and customize it through the console to set to those profiles.
Yeah.
And away you go.
I'm pretty sure that's the case, mate. It looks like software-based customization options for creating a completely personalized controller experience.
Ooh la la.
Now, it's not confirmed in this blog post, at least that whether I can see it immediately, but I vaguely remember seeing something about it being on board, but maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, tweet me and say, Cap, you're a fucking idiot. This is a useless controller. There's no way you can do it on board. But yeah, I'm pretty sure this was the whole idea. Now, Grizz, the one thing that really I think sticks out for this is the fact that the control sticks are completely removable and replaceable.
Yeah, this is crazy, man. Well, just why would you remove them? Cap? Why would you remove the fucking?
I was like, mate, I don't think I've ever had an issue with my thumbsticks. Maybe the rubber on the thumbsticks, but when I
first bought Destiny 1, Cap, and I was raiding with Mikey, and obviously Destiny 1 was all on console. A lot of those guys used the little extenders on the thumbs to allow, they reckon it was more accuracy and bits and pieces to use those. It would extend the thumb bit out by maybe like 1.5 centimeters or something like that. And I bought when I tried it out and it felt weird for me, but I'm potentially thinking maybe that they're going to come out with different little, like, can you insert different analog sticks in there, and do you reckon they'll have different attachments that you can kind of use as part of this?
Maybe
controller?
That'll be the case, mate. Maybe you can customize color and all that kind of thing, but it just seems, I don't know, like, because the rest of the controller doesn't seem that customizable. Like, you think about, for example, the Xbox controller shop that you can go online and do full customizations of the grip colors, you know, the back grip, the triggers, the faceplate, everything. Whereas this, as far as we are aware, comes in a single color, white. It seems that they've kind of tried to invert some of the plating on the front of it. They've kind of made the black areas
very similar, though, doesn't it? To the standard PS controller, virtually
the exact same. I mean, the buttons, so like your X and O's, you know, your shape buttons and your D-pad, that's black now. The touchpad's black as well, and the kind of the casing that surrounds the thumbsticks is kind of like a shiny black. So it's differentiated from the standard controller, but it doesn't look that much different.
Nah, it's not huge. It's not huge.
You know, I think at an Xbox Pro controller, you go, holy fuck.
Yeah, they look very different. Is the key difference, Cap, that you've got these extra buttons, almost like little paddles at the back of the controller now that we've got?
Well, I mean, that's obviously another thing that they've got on this iteration of the controller. So they do have those back paddles.
I'm curious to know, like, so if this is obviously going to be PS5, and you know you're obviously going to be playing games without a PS5. What do you map? What do you reckon you'd map those to? Like, what is a handy?
I don't know, man.
Like,
maybe
how can you use
something
those?
like maybe something a little bit easier to sort of get to.
I do find that sometimes when games have the thing where you got to press your stick in, I reckon that can annoy you because when you're trying to aim your character and then you got to press it in. Like for
Could be
example,
a toggle for
Elden
Dark Souls and
Ring,
stuff.
the crouch. How many times are you trying to run away from people and you'll be crouching down?
Yeah. I mean, there's obviously options for these kinds of stuff. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, Grizz, I think, to be honest, I expected more. I know that sounds really fucking whingy and fucking childish, but I just kind of thought, okay, you're selling me a PlayStation Pro controller and it pretty much looks the exact fucking same. And your big thing is you can now change out the thumbsticks, which for me, how fucking often am I going to be doing that? Like, and this module's probably going to cost like, fucking $40 for a set of sticks. Like, it's not going to be cheap.
Are you ever going to customize your controls, mate? You can already do that in the game. Are you going to set
I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy for that shit. Are you serious?
It's like, I think in the blog post that I read, they kind of sell you to the fact that you can adjust the input sensitivity of the buttons so you can gain that extra advantage in your FPS games. And it's like, mate, the controllers, the PS5 controller is fucking great already. Like, you're not gonna, man. It's like, come on, man.
Like, how do you upsell an already brilliant controller? I just feel like what they probably should have done is maybe, I don't know, man. I feel like maybe make it so you do have this onboard mappable stuff. So you can, if you are a real true, like, hardcore kind of FPS or something and you want to have your onboard controls when you go to mates and places, like, sure, you got that. But I really feel like they're missing out on the same thing that what Microsoft is doing with this store online where you can hit up the different colors and do a full customization, because that's what I think a lot of people want. They want identity in their
So I haven't looked at that. Is that the difference with the Xbox controller, Cap? Does it actually
so it's a little bit different to the Pro, like the Elite controller. So the Elite controller is like the the Rolls Royce of Xbox, but Xbox has this controller chop shop basically that you can do your own kind of customizations and stuff, and cool. You get sent out this cool custom controller. You can change everything, man. The thumbstick colors, the D-pad color. It's really, really fucking rad. I played around with it for a little bit, but yeah, I just feel like it's missing something, Grizz. Like, you're right.
Yeah, the features at the moment, the features that have come with this will in no way make me want to go buy one, even if it was. If it was an extra $20 over the standard controller, I probably still would buy it because I wouldn't use any of the features that come with it. The only thing that I may consider using is those back toggles, if they were implemented correctly.
I bought this controller, which is a Switch Pro fucking third-party controller, and it's got paddles in the back. Do you know how often I accidentally hit those paddles? All the fucking time, and it pisses me off.
Really,
big time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Would I use the back paddles? Maybe. Depends on how well. Then it depends on if they're in the way or not. Basically, is what I'm getting at. And like how well does that fit on your hand without you accidentally clicking it? Because you squeeze the controller, dude. Like like when you're doing things, like so. You don't want to accidentally hit things, and then your fucking character's doing a roll or something stupid, and then roll off a cliff, or Anyway, I don't know.
It is quite interesting though, Cap, that I feel like the whole toggle thing at the back of the controller has only been a recent finding. I don't know. Did that come with the Stream Deck? Is that what had those back paddles on it? I feel like
you're talking about the Steam controller.
Steam controller. I feel like that we've had these controllers for years that have definitely utilized the thumbs and the fingers, but never really had buttons at the back like that.
There's been a lot of third-party controllers that implemented them, but I feel like Xbox was probably the first to bring out paddles on their controllers natively. But even then, they're not implemented in your standard Xbox controller. I don't even know what variants have got it, but I'm pretty sure Xbox had them. So PlayStation's slowly bringing up the rear, I guess. And
I wonder whether we'll see that as standard in the next gen of these gen consoles.
I'd say give Nintendo maybe 2 or 3 more console generations, and they'll have paddles in the back of their controllers. But so there you go. PS5 DualSense Edge wireless controller, Grizzly. Looks interesting. I'm not getting one. Are you?
No. And not at this stage. Hell no, baby.
All right. Now, the next thing, Grizz, that popped up on old Gamescom, Dead Island 2. Can you remember when this was announced once upon a time, back in the olden days?
I actually don't. But I I played the first one and I did some reading on this, and holy shit, it was a long time ago, Cap.
Dude, yeah.
2014
Yeah, man.
was the original trailer for this, right?
Yeah, something like that. I feel like I think it's been like 9 years or something. No, 8 years ago they announced this game. So, which wait, is my
was
maths?
it? Yeah, it was an E3 apparently. Cap. It was an E3, 2014 E3.
Yeah. So this game has been like just because it was off the radar for so long, like no one had said nothing. So I think maybe they kind of bided their time because I mean, okay, so for those who are wondering what Dead Island 2 is, number one was kind of this zombie retro, not arcade shooter kind of thing, kind of what do you call it? Parkour.
Yeah,
a lot of melee stuff going on. First person
very
shooter.
stylized, wasn't it, Cap? Like the colors were quite vibrant, and when this came out, it had a killer trailer. I don't know if you remember the trailer, Cap, but it was quite. You would definitely remember it. It was imagery of like quite a young girl, like a little girl, and she was a zombie and everything else. And apparently, the trailer alone really sold a lot of copies of that game because it was quite out there, horde zombie mode kind of game. But yeah, very stylized, bright. The water's crystal blue, and you're kind of in this environment. It's quite quite.
I mean, it was a fucking buggy mess though. Like,
was it?
Holy shit! Yeah, big time, dude. And but I mean, look, they've obviously announced this. The trailer looks quite nice, I think, in general. They've obviously, I think the characters look. It's got a very. You remember that Zombieland movie, Grizz, with Bill Murray was in it, and Willie fucking what's his name? Can't think of his name. Not Willie Nelson.
Yep. I think I watched it. Pretty sure.
Yeah. Anyways, it's kind of got the Zombieland vibe. There's even a character in there that kind of reminded me of the Bill Murray character from Zombieland. So drawing a bit of inspo, perhaps, but yeah, it just looks like now there is some early previews that are floating around on the internet because some people got to play it at the Gamescom. But it sounds like it's just it is a bit more of the same. And if you've kind of already played Dying Light, which kind of came out as a spiritual successor to Dead Island, you probably might have had your fill by now of this kind of zombie. Apocalypse kind of parkour equation, but yeah, I mean, if you're hanging out for more, I mean, you might be in luck, but it also sounds like it's a little bit also quite buggy.
Well, I don't know the full details behind this, Cat. We could probably look into it, but apparently this has had 3 different dev teams over the 8 years.
Yeah, I do vaguely remember hearing that in the first couple of years, once when it was announced that it was going through some issues development wise. And I think that's why Dying Light really took off because people kind of got behind it because that became like the next iteration. And now obviously 8 years on, oh guys, it's Dead Island 2. Don't worry about it.
Well, we've talked about this before, Kat, but there's this obvious risk that comes with releasing a game long, you spend too long in development and all of a sudden your game's coming out in the market where games are current and everything else. And we look at the games that released in 2016 when this was under development. We had Dark Souls 3 was released in 2014. Was it Cap? Well, somewhere around there. Anyway, but if you look at the difference, say, between Dark Souls 3 and what we had for Elden Ring or Sekiro, 2 completely different games. Sekiro's got that verticality and everything else. And I guess so you're a little bit scared about how this is going to be when it comes out. Are they just trying to get it fucking out there, mate? As it's, had
but you know what, Grizz? I kind of feel like open world games that are in this kind of echelon just get a free pass in general. Like we might talk about it later on today, but Saints Row's kind of released, and it apparently, by all accounts, is just pretty much just fucking open world garbage. Which, dude, I feel like a lot of games these days, Ubisoft is fucking terrible for it. It's just the same old fucking shit, Go and find this tower, climb the tower, reveal the map, go and tick all the shit off on your map, and it's just. I know that a lot of the base kind of stuff for these games is there, but I just feel like there's not an awful lot of like thought in what they actually produce in terms of your game experience. They just kind of regurgitate this old. It's just like feeding baby chicks. Just keep
formula,
fucking vomiting all this boring shit. So
it's funny because
I don't know.
At this, it actually graphically looks quite good. Cap.
It doesn't look like the graphics do look quite nice. I can imagine it running pretty garbo on some low end machines. So if you don't have an amazing machine, you're probably going to have a pretty big sad time on PC. But I'm sure it'll run fine for consoles, though. Again, from all accounts, pretty buggy at the moment. But hopefully they knock a few of those out. But yeah, looks interesting. If you're up for another zombie shenanigan fest, then you don't worry. You're in luck.
You got something in store. Hell
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Now, the next one, Grizz, Lords of the Fallen. Now, yeah, if you vaguely remember this name before, that's because you have heard it before. In fact, this is a reboot of a game, Lords of the Fallen, which was supposed to... now, okay. So, Dark Souls-esque kind of game, Grizz. Kind of got that medieval fantasy vibe going on. Now, the original Lords of the Fallen, Grizz, came out in 2014. Dark Souls also came out in 2014. So, Lords of the Fallen got a very poor rap. I think it's got about 68 on Metacritic, the original game. I played it. Pretty garbage game. Pretty garbage.
Was it shit? Was it no good? Was it, Cap? Was it too difficult?
Pretty
or
average.
just
no, just
poor design?
Mate. I mean, why would you eat fucking spaghetti out of a tin when you could have the bolognese gnocchi from down the road from Software, mate? I mean, you're going to go there every night, aren't you?
Yeah, true.
True. Yeah, basically that's what kind of happened with the original Lords of the Fallen. Now, did Lords of the Fallen? Let me just double check too. Okay, Lords of the Fallen 2 was supposed to come out, but I think what's happened, right, is they've gone, everyone hated the first game. Let's do a reboot instead of going number 2. So that's essentially what this is.
They've removed the V from the name, Cap. Did you notice that?
Was there a V in the original name?
V. The first one was called the Lords of the Fallen, and now it's just called Lords of the Fallen.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So just
an interesting grammatical conundrum. I wonder how that'll play out in the lore, Grizz.
Who knows, man? Who knows?
But look, the excuse me, the trailer looks interesting. You kind of got this bloke running around stealing people's souls with a lantern, and then this bloke just cops in one, and then he comes back to life. So thematically, a lot of Dark Souls-esque stuff. Now, the thing that puts me off this trailer, Grizz, is all of a sudden they have fucking Billy Idol or some shit playing in the background, and it goes from interesting to god, a bit lame, mate. Come on, like they could have just put some cool fucking gothic music in there, and it just goes a little bit too hard. I don't know. Let us know your thoughts at home. I'm interested. I think it's Billy Idol. It sounds like it anyway, but it kind of ruined the trailer for me.
See, well, I don't mind it, Cap. I actually thought I thought it looked interesting, right? I thought it looked, because you see this very apocalyptic scene where this fucking big explosion happens and you see these demons rise up and everything else.
Like a Nazgul Rider comes in.
Yeah, the Nazgul Rider comes in. I just kind of look like the look of this, and to hear that this was probably a failure of a game back when it first launched in 2011, and now they're bringing something else out that's come after some pretty successful Souls-like games. When you look back then, I mean, it's probably just Dark Souls 1 that was out back then. So, lots and lots of good games to help guide this one along. Well, so I don't know, I'm hopeful for this, Cap. I read a blog panel about this as well, just to let you know here. So they're saying here that it'll take place in a land called Adir, a cross between two parallel worlds. You'll have the ability to customize your character with 9 distinct classes to choose from, ranging from melee builds to spellcasters. It'll also feature fast-paced combat with over 100 different weapon styles, much like the Souls games that have inspired it. So just hearing a little bit about the type of game. So I think that sounds quite interesting as a concept.
It's kind of funny hearing them say, much like the Souls games that inspired it. Yeah. And the only Souls game that came out before the first one was Demon Souls. So it was kind of like helping forge a path before that, and to then, I mean, obviously it's kind of nice that it does recognize the forebearers, and because I mean the first iteration of this game didn't do particularly well, but I just think that's quite an interesting thing to kind of say. I mean, I kind of expected, maybe them to go, we were up there, we were, some of the first to, pioneer this game genre, but no, they did kind of recognize that maybe they didn't do a great job, perhaps by omitting it. But
Now, I mentioned this to you before the podcast, but I want to reiterate this again. Is there's something I feel like is a bit of a theme, not in Gamescom, but games that are coming out and that we're seeing kind of footage for in bits and pieces now. But I feel like the success of Elden Ring has really set the tone for some of the games that we're seeing coming out now. And obviously, we haven't seen any gameplay for this, but this is very much a Souls-like game. They've even stated that it is a Souls-like game, and trying to ride off the coattails of the success, you reckon?
It's an interesting genre to try and iterate on, Grizz, because I feel like From Software have really hit a niche and they execute it so fucking well. When you play a bad Souls game, it feels like shit. It feels garbage. So it's a very, I think it's a difficult formula to hit. But yeah, and do you know what I find interesting as well, Grizz, is when it comes to Elden Ring, like, yes, it was very popular. And yes, it did very well on Metacritic, but I mean, it's no Minecraft. Like, so it's interesting that people are going so hard on implementing this kind of gameplay, in my opinion. I mean, obviously when someone does something right and it gets a lot of praise, people tend to follow suit, but I don't know. It's just interesting. But
now, Cap, this is being developed by Hexworks, who have no games under their belt. This is their debut release, which I also found interesting. So we'll see how that goes.
Did they pick up the IP for Lords of the Fallen?
I don't know that for sure, but I would assume so. They've obviously bought the rights or something to re-release this game. But yeah, so they were formed in 2020, Hexworks. So they've obviously been probably working on this since then, I would imagine.
Well, that's interesting.
So this is a 2023 release, Cap, and this will also have co-op and PvP as well. So I don't know. I'm hopeful, but you never know.
Look, dude, I'll definitely give it a crack if it looks all right once we get some gameplay. But I mean, all we've gotten so far is a cinematic trailer. And I've seen plenty of Soulsborne-esque cinematic trailers that look really good, and then played Soulsborne-esque games, and they play like shit. So we'll see what happens. Now, one game that doesn't look like shit yet. Lies of P, Grizz.
Oh, yeah, dude.
What? This is, in my opinion, the Bloodborne spiritual successor. This is what people have wanted for fucking ages. Bloodborne fans, that is. And Sony just will not give it to them. Neither will From Software. Don't know where the issue is there. Probably, it's probably money, I would say. It's probably money.
Probably money, yeah.
From Software's going, pay us $2 billion to make Bloodborne 2. And Sony's going, nah, what about like $50?
Dude, we're going to see fucking Elden Ring 2 before we see Bloodborne 2. But, Kat, tell me the interesting thing about this game, mate. What is this based on? Why is it Lies of P?
So, if you're not aware, Bloodborne is another sort of Soulsborne. That's where the Born comes from, the Soulsborne, clash of, the genre. So, it's a Soulsborne game. Now, it's based loosely, I'm going to say loosely, on the story of Pinocchio. And it seems like you play as a character who is kind of the metaphor for Pinocchio. He doesn't have a big long nose or anything like that, but he's kind of mechanical. It looks like maybe he's not a real boy, but I don't know. And it looks like Papa Giuseppe's made an appearance in this particular trailer, but the trailer is banging, Grizz, like big time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, huge.
There was a blog post that supported some of this as well, Cap, that I came across, and it was talking to the director. His name is Choi Jin-won, game director, and it's basically going to be the story of Pinocchio. And he was kind of saying that Disney, when they retold the story of Pinocchio, made it quite light, even though if you've watched that, it actually isn't that
pretty
light.
Dark.
But it's pretty dark. But the original telling of that story is really dark and quite miserable. And he's kind of said here, we had to find a very well-known thing at first, to find our first Souls-like game. Interesting, he says that, Cap. So we wanted to have a fan base first. So we came up with a well-known story first, and we gave our own twist to it. So,
which I think is a really cool idea, because when I first saw this, Grizz, I was like, fuck, how do you get away with that? And I guess the whole story of Pinocchio must be kind of common law now. I know certain things over time, depending on how old they become, you can kind of just do what you like with that intellectual property because it exits copyright law, essentially. So I think some examples of that are like, I'm pretty sure a lot of Lovecraftian stuff is now common, or whatever you call it. And there's a few other bits and pieces that aren't really coming to mind immediately. But yeah, like old poems and stuff like that slowly sort of come out into common.
Probably a lot of those Brothers Grimm things.
Yeah, stuff like that. Public
like
Domain is the one I'm thinking of.
yes,
100 years. Well, Pinocchio probably is about 100 years, right? When was the story of Pinocchio written?
So it's
Story
quite old.
of Pinocchio.
So I was thinking, Cap, is will this be the new meme of the channel, the new Elden Ring, mate? When this comes out, will this be the new Elden Ring that will have a Liza P counter in the chat? Do you think this looks that good? Does this look really good?
I'll tell you what, man. So this is one thing, and we kind of touched on it with Lords of the Fallen, is often the gameplay is, well, look, gameplay is just so important for these games, because if the combat feels kind of janky or rigid, and it doesn't sort of feel nice and fluid. I mean, there can be a little bit of rigidity, because I feel like Souls games kind of have that innate rigidness to it, because it kind of enforces the difficulty a little bit. But it needs to feel good, right? And it needs to feel impactful, and it needs to feel like you are kind of getting something out of the game system. From what I can see from this game trailer, and I mean, again, I haven't played it, but I've seen early sort of gameplay cuts of things like Mortal Shell, even stuff like the new Wukong game. And those gameplay trailers, sometimes when they first come out, look really, really garbo. Like something's not quite right with the animations. Just kind of like just the way that it plays, it kind of, you feel like, oh, that looks really kind of, I don't know, just not quite right. With this game, the animations look nice and fluid. The combat and the kind of spell kind of shit that he's doing, which seems to be kind of more loosely tied in with kind of like all that, almost like Nikola Tesla kind of shit going on. It looks so fluid and nice. Like I'm really excited to get my hands on this and really give it a crack, because that's going to be what sells this game. Is the combat fun, and is it nice to play?
I think it looks like it. And if they've taken, I mean, they say in the blog post they've taken a lot of inspiration from Bloodborne and the Souls-like games. So I would really hope that the combat is similar.
Yeah,
it looks like
look,
it.
inspiration's one thing, execution's another thing. Again, Mortal Shell, dude. Did you play Mortal Shell?
I did, and I never finished it. But yeah, I felt the same thing. It just felt really slow to me, Cap, and unresponsive.
Yeah.
I felt like I kept getting my ass kicked, but it wasn't because I was bad at the game. I just felt like I was blaming the game and the controller for it not feeling as, fucking roll or do something. It just wasn't.
Didn't feel rewarding. Didn't feel rewarding, I feel. So yeah, I mean, Liza P for me is going to all come down to how well the combat is executed. But I'm when I first heard about this game, and I heard it was a Pinocchio story, I just thought, oh, God's sakes, whose fucking idea was this? But actually seeing it looks really cool. They've gone a little bit dark on the characters. There's a guy who kind of, I think, is going to be kind of the stand-in for Giuseppe. There's also the guy who I think is like the stealer of the children, who's kind of like the twizzly fucking mustache man. There's also a lady at the beginning who, don't know what their deal is.
In the blog post, he also talked about being in the belly of a whale was an inspirational bit that they took as well. So,
that could be cool.
How the fuck are they going to do that, man? But yeah, that'd be interesting to kind of. I don't know if you remember that. Did you ever play the Super Nintendo game, Cap? Pinocchio? Game?
No, I didn't. I don't think.
Fuck, it was a good platformer, man. Really great platformer. Yeah. Had like Jiminy Cricket and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was really good up there.
Remember it? Maybe. A lot of Disney platformers were really good. Like, think about Lion King and stuff, dude. Or even Hercules on PlayStation 1 was really good. So look, Liza P, go and check it out. A lot of the enemies, very clockworky, kind of almost steampunk-esque kind of shit going on. But yeah, it looks really cool. Again, I think the combat actually looks fucking slapping. It looks sick. So
looks great, man.
Yeah, big fan. Now, another kind of adjacent Soulsborne-y kind of thing coming out, Grizz. Again, we're seeing a theme here. Where the Winds Meet, Grizzly Gaming 86. Now, this is kind of like I guess it's kind of like an open world Soulsborne kind of thing.
Yep.
Kind of
RPG.
Chinese kind of back in the olden days, Chinese kind of aesthetic, but also a bit of Chinese mythology going on. Your character seems to have special abilities, can kind of run on water, on air by the looks of things as well. And there kind of almost seems to be Assassin's Creed traversal stuff going on as well. But yeah, very, very kind of old Chinese aesthetic, which looks really cool so far.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen actually there was quite detailed bits and pieces we found out about this. So they talked about the combat a little bit, another bit of information, Cap. So the combat apparently is Souls-like fast style. And this to me sounds a lot like Sekiro.
Yeah.
So you basically can counter enemy blows, and you can use Tai Chi to deflect attacks, or acrobatics to strike from all angles, which to me sounds like that almost dancing piece that you see in
Absolutely.
Sekiro,
Which I loved about Sekiro. I thought a lot of people don't, they kind of shit on Sekiro because it deviated so much, but I did really enjoy that kind of dance that Sekiro had to its combat system. Like I feel like that was such a boon to it. But yeah.
I feel like they would have implemented that in Elden Ring if it wasn't so hard to balance with all the different weapons and bits and pieces, Cap. I feel like if you have introduced too many mechanics in there like that, and so many weapons and scope in terms of items and bits and pieces.
Oh, it would have been impossible for them to kind of get that going, I think.
Yeah.
Nearly impossible. But look, I mean, Where the Winds Meet looks very, very nice. It's got almost a Ghost of Tsushima vibe as well. I think in terms of the graphical fidelity of it, definitely got that kind of open field, kind of rustling, what do you call them? Reeds and stuff across the field as the wind moves through, and your character's kind of riding horses. But there's also definitely, there's like a bit of almost like a necromancy thing going on. And yeah, very, very cool. A little bit anime-ish.
This is also very interesting. Cap, listen to this, mate. This is just a little bit of information that I found outside of this trailer. But apparently you can kind of choose who you want to be in the game. You can be a doctor who saves lives, or a merchant earning as much gold as possible. The game also features a free construction system with over 600 components that allows you to build structures. You can choose to live freely. Yeah, no joke. So it has this whole side thing in this game as well that is separate to this. I guess this is probably the open world RPG kind of MMO kind of style bit that you've got here. So you can choose to live freely or ignore side activities and pursue the main story and face the most dangerous enemies in the realm. So you can there is like these other elements of this game that make it a bit broader than just what we've seen in the trailer as well, which I found quite interesting.
Now, I think the coolest thing about the trailer is kind of the final kind of scene where your character is kind of walking across this field of dead bodies, and then there's this giant like statue deity in the middle of them, or with the sun behind him, or behind the statue, and then you've got this real evil looking motherfucker with blonde hair and a black panther with him. I just thought that was fucking baller. I thought that was so cool. But dude, honestly, sounds pretty rad. Now, the one thing that does worry me is when you include things like open world construction and shit like that.
Yeah,
I get a little bit worried about the combat, which I think is the most important thing for me. Because generally, when you're implementing too much,
trying to do too much.
Yeah, because I mean, when you have all these different systems, like generally in terms of development time, you're going to have to draw on time somewhere else to get other shit going. So I don't know. We'll see how it all plays out. Looks very interesting. Very, very nice looking game. The graphics look fucking absolutely schmicko. But well, time will tell, Grizz. Now, another open world game, Grizz, Dune Awakening. We got a cheeky little YouTube trailer for Dune Awakening, which is a new open world survival game. Looks like they're going to be introducing kind of MMO aspects to this as well. I'd say it'll be on servers or some kind of server variant. But yeah, it takes place in the Dune what do you call it? Fantasy world. The Tim Chalamet fucking fantasy world. So, but the trailer looks very cool.
The movie. The trailer looks great.
The movie was amazing. The newest movie.
The movie was amazing.
Old movie was pretty good too, but the new iteration, holy shit, what a fucking masterpiece. God damn.
Have you read the Dune books, Cap? Have you done any of that?
No, I haven't actually. And only because I've heard they're a little bit difficult to get through.
Yeah. My old man swears that they are some of his favorite science fiction novels to date.
A lot of people,
I
a lot of people
haven't read 'em.
reckon they're rippers, mate. Yeah, they're arguments for argument's sake. There are definitely two schools of thought on the Dune books. I think overall the story is very, very interesting, though, and I think the idea of an open world survival game, kind of akin to like Conan, is it Exiles? Maybe I'm remembering. Oh no, yeah, it is Conan Exiles, or even Rust. In that kind of same vibe. It looks very, very cool. So, I mean, Grizz, we're going to be doing all kinds of shit in this game, according to the main website. We don't have any gameplay specifically, but there is a little bit of stuff sort of floating around on the main website that you can check out. So, you're going to be able to build shelters against sandstorms and probably sandworms as well. I don't know how well a small shelter is going to fare against a fucking sandworm, but we'll see. Maintain your still suit, which is kind of your suit that you're wearing that maintains the moisture, so trying to maintain moisture levels, and then also going into the deep deserts for, I guess, resources and bits and pieces. Now,
what is the resource cap that I what is it?
Spice.
Spice, that's it. Yeah. Yep.
Spice is,
So
that's what they're all after. Bit of spice. But it definitely looks like they're going to be having like, you know, like rock and ore and stuff that I guess you probably use to build your shelters, and there'll be plenty of sand that you can pick up just willy-nilly, I guess. But it looks really cool. Like they're really fleshing out the whole kind of, I don't know, fantasy of Dune. Like it says here, walk the ruins of long-forgotten biological testing stations, scavenge the wreckage of fallen spaceships, and wander the dusty halls of abandoned sieges. Head into unmapped sectors and be the first to discover secrets and riches before the storms once again shift the sands and alter the landscape. So maybe some kind of, what do you call it? Procedurally generated stuff going on, Grizz.
Sounds pretty awesome. So yeah, it sounds awesome, Cap, and it also looks great too. So there is no release date for this, Cap. But did you sign up to the
the beta?
Yeah, me
you
too.
can sign up for the beta online if you do. Just go to junegames.com. But yeah, absolutely. As soon as I saw I could do that, I was like, fuck yeah, get me in. Looks very cool though, dude. Cool. Like, I really hope they implement some kind of clan or like group system so you can build shit together and hunt for spice together. And it does look like you can do things like deploy harvesters and protect them from people. And I think this is going to be pretty fucking cool, Grizz. Again, no gameplay yet, but looking pretty good so far.
Yep.
Looking pretty good so far. All right, now Grizz. We're gonna pour one out for our boys. We're pouring one out. Subnautica announced their next game, Grizz.
Yeah.
I had such high hopes for this. And it's a fucking miniature game.
See, I actually don't hate this, Cap. I actually don't hate this.
I just think I had such lofty heights, expectations for this game, and it just turned out to be a little...
When you have a look at the games that From Software have brought out, Cap, all their fucking earlier ones, they brought out some weird little cartoon fucking weird game back in the day, and you know, the heaps of mech games and stuff. I mean, we were all obviously hoping for another survival game. We talked about this last time. Cap was like, Grizz, where do you think the next Subnautica is going to be? And I was like, oh, it could be in space or the deep jungle or caves. But no. So what is this, Cap? Tell the viewers. What are we looking at here?
Look, it kind of looks okay. So what they're selling this as is this kind of, so you think about miniatures like Warhammer miniatures. Think about those, that idea of what a miniature is. They're creating like a multiverse of all these different miniatures that you can import into this game, and then you can use them to play kind of an RTS style game that kind of mimics roughly what I think Warhammer is. It's kind of like a tabletop kind of figurine style thing going on. Now, yeah, look, you can paint the miniatures to your own kind of, way you want to go, which I think is cool.
Dude, I'm actually just quietly, mate. I am not fucking kidding you, dude. I was thinking about like a digital game where you could actually get right into the detail and paint miniatures. I know there's a lot of people that spend a heap of time on, there's a certain webpage where you can customize miniatures and order them from Warhammer. And people don't even order them, but just spend time in there, like painting bits and pieces and creating them.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be quite an interesting hook. Just to talk about the gameplay mechanics, Cap. So they have said here that the core gameplay hook centered around turn-based strategy game, inspired by games such as XCOM and Hearthstone, Warhammer, and yeah, I find that quite unique and interesting. They have been very clear, Cap, to say that this game, they're hoping they've got content that they're just going to be releasing over a long period of time, decades. They reckon they see this as being like a live service game, no end date. So you have seasons.
I wonder how they monetize it, Grizz.
I don't know, man. I was kind of thinking this through as well. I think I don't know for sure, and we'll see how that kind of works out. But maybe you buy paints to be able to make your stuff look fucking awesome, or different models and bits and pieces, and So I'm just going to read this little bit out here. So he's gone, to make a game like this, we have to plan months and years in advance. I'm working on units for season 6 right now. That's a year and a half from now. From day one, we wanted to make a game that was going to last a generation. We want to do like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon. So we don't want a sequel to this game. We want to build off its base and have it going for years. We have story for years. They've built this thing around when the seasons come out, Cap. It's going to tell you a little bit more about the lore. And what is really fucking interesting is alongside the game releases, they're going to be releasing like a podcast format you can either listen to in-game or on Spotify to listen about the lore updates. So it's like, it's
pretty
quite,
cool.
they've gone quite,
the idea of it, absolutely not interested. Not keen at all. The one thing that does interest me is Brandon Sanderson is the guy writing a lot of this stuff. Now, this guy is an author, and he's written such masterpieces as the Dritz Do'Urden from he does Forgotten Realms, sort of the D&D books. Essentially, he's written a bunch of those. He's also done I can't think of any of his books off Stormlight Chronicles or Archive or something like that.
Okay, so
I've read a
have
lot
they
of his
got him
D&D
in on
stuff.
Got him
He
on
apparently
the lore
is writing
side.
all the lore for them.
There
So
you go.
very, very well known author. Now, Brandon Sanderson did allude because basically they got George R. Martin on Elden Ring. And then they asked Brandon Sanderson if he was, mate, what's going on with you? Are you going to be getting in on any games? And he was like, well, I might have something up my sleeve, and kind of just left it at that. But this is obviously what he was working on. So, but look,
in terms of the gameplay modes, Cap, so there's a rogue light apparently thing, which is like you play in each individual run is individual run. There's also like PvP online, a 1v1 multiplayer, and a 2v2 mode as well. So interesting.
Could be cool.
See.
Look, the aesthetic people are describing is kind of like a mix between Guardians of the Galaxy and Warhammer 40k. So if that gives you a rough kind of idea, but yeah, very stylized. Like the characters look like miniatures. They don't have specific kind of like animations. It's kind of like these miniatures, like bouncing around and doing shit inside the game and like throwing in inverted commas, like grenades and shit. So to me, vaguely interesting, not super bothered by it, but I'm sure a lot of people are going to be losing their shit. I was just so excited that the Subnautica devs would bring out another game, Grizz, and I thought, fuck yes, the guys who made one of my favorite games of all time bring something else out. Surely it's going to be in the same universe. It might be an FPS, it might be something else, and it was this. A little bit disappointed, in all honesty.
I feel quite similar to you. I think if you detach yourself away, and this is my direct note here, Cap, I've gone digital figurine painting. Fuck yeah, get me in. Because that's what I'm excited about. And I think if it's monetized around, say, if you play through a roguelite mode, you complete a run, you acquire some new paints, the footage that you've seen about the detail you can go into, you can add shading to your models and bits and pieces. I think it could be quite cool. I do worry, much like you mentioned, around the monetization, like, is this going to be their take on trying to get an ongoing IP, loot boxes? We'll see how that kind of develops too. Who knows?
I wonder how long until they put NFTs into the game, Grizz. We will find out, my friend. Now, that kind of covers the main kind of topics that we really wanted to dive in, Grizz. Let's sort of cover a few things that we thought people might be interested in that came out of Gamescom. Now, Destiny 2 Lightfall has been sort of formally revealed. It has been sort of alluded to in roadmaps and stuff by Bungie, but they've kind of brought out this trailer showing off Lightfall, which, it's basically it's going to be 2023, I believe, Grizz. So it's still a fair way off, but it's the next major expansion for Destiny 2. Looks like the main content's going to be set in this special futuristic city in Neptune. Looks like the story's kind of further evolving with the can't think of the name of the enemy type, the big kind of rhino men. Why can't I think of them? Doesn't matter. Anyways, they're working together with the darkness. Oh, the darkness.
Who was the bloke that got killed in a few things back, and everyone was like gutted that he got
what was his name?
Starts with
Cade.
Cade. 9?
Cade. Yeah.
Cade 9. Do you think Cade 9 will ever make it back? Like
probably
somehow
not. Which is
dead?
brutal, dude. Well, do you know why I reckon they killed off Cade 9? Is because his voice actor was way too expensive.
Was he? But he had so much character in him. Man.
Oh, he was such a good character.
He was
Cade
cool,
6,
yeah.
sorry, Sukai. I haven't played in ages, mate.
Oh, fuck.
So
Sukai has also said the
you know?
aesthetic is my vibe. I actually really like the aesthetic as well. I
Yeah,
love the neon bright colors that you're seeing in here.
It's like this weird, it's almost like that Neo Tokyo kind of thing going on. Like this main baddie is just like this, like kind of person with like smoke skulls coming out of their head, which
looks
kind
like
of fucking creepy. Okay. But it also looks like they're going to be bringing along a new sort of damage element, Grizz. So they've had Arc, Solar, and Void, which are the main three kind of elemental types. Now they're bringing out a new subtype, which is going to be Strand, which is this green kind of almost like acidic-y kind of effect. Now, I don't know what it equates to, but there will be kind of like it'll be used for grapple hooks and stuff like that, which looks quite cool.
So does this mean subclasses for each of the classes?
I believe so.
Cap?
Yeah.
Okay. Very interesting, mate.
So
you can pre-purchase this already. It's 62 Aussie dollars at the moment on special on Steam. You do get some special shit. Hey, Cap, what are your, just really quickly, the monetization for Destiny 2, how do you find it? Having these...
Yeah.
Okay?
I mean, I think like expansions and offering what is effectively, what do you call it? Cosmetic only stuff. I've no issues with that. As soon as it becomes now you can buy fucking goo fucking coins to upgrade your character even further. That's when things gets annoying. Yeah. But I think the one thing, the one thing, and we kind of discussed it with the Diablo 4 discussion last week, is because Destiny 2 does this as well, where they've embedded XP systems within the free tier of the seasonal pass. And I just hate that. I just think it's fucking gross, honestly. I think it's garbage.
Destiny 2 does that, do they?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like you kind of unlock tiers of more XP, and I don't know, it just kind of detracts from the whole kind of aesthetic and I don't know, atmosphere of the game, and it just kind of makes you remember that a corporation's running this thing that you love and hold dear. So I don't know, kind of feels like shit. But anyways, for the most part, I think Destiny 2 and Bungie do a pretty good job with their monetization. But anyways, Grizz, we're going to move along now.
Yep.
Mountain Blade 2 Battlelord. Do you ever play this before, Grizz?
No, I have never played Mountain Blade game.
Okay.
I got ready. It was quite popular, wasn't it? Mountain Blade.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was big.
It was massive. And it's been in early access since it came out. So it's been in there for a while. I can't tell you exactly how long, but it is finally leaving early access, Grizz. Now, if you're kind of wondering what the hell we're talking about, it's kind of like large-scale medieval battles. Like, I'm talking big, like cavalry, people setting up like stakes and holding their spears out, waiting for the cavalry charge. But there's also like base building and single-player RPG mechanics and stuff sort of melded in with this. Looks really, really cool. Now, really popular game, obviously, Grizz, but it is absolutely finally leaving early access, which, I guess a lot of people are probably really excited for. But yeah, so if you're into sort of large-scale medieval battles where you kind of have like a what was it, Mordhau / chivalry kind of combat going on the small scale. That's the kind of vibe that's going on. So, but looks really cool. Looks really, really rad. So, you can go in and take quests from people and do bits and pieces, and then join huge fucking battles. Man. Yeah, it actually looks pretty fucking cool. But yeah, I never got around to playing it, but by all accounts, very, very cool game. But yeah, leaving fucking early access, Grizz. There you go. Now, Grizz, Dark Tide has released another trailer.
Yeah.
That being Warhammer 40k Dark Tide. And yeah, I mean, look, we kind of know what to expect from this game already. We've seen a lot. But I mean, I'm just so hyped for this game, Grizz. I just want another. Like, this is like probably the perfect iteration for me, in my opinion, because I really liked Vermintide, but I just hated how heavy they were on the melee combat. Whereas this seems like a nice blend of ranged and melee, where you can kind of choose either.
Yeah, I think, dude, Fat Shark did fantastic with Vermintide 1, and they improved that game with Vermintide 2, and I feel like they're just going to do it again here, Cap. So they've kind of said one thing that is in this trailer is the character customization, which is something that we really missed in the other ones. You know, all the classes and the characters looked the same. You could tell who you were playing, and this gives you a little bit more customization, so you can see being able to customize across several classes, customize your appearance, your voice, your origins, and other bits and pieces, which is
rad.
Like
you get a bit more identity with your character, which is cool, obviously, kind of a bit more RPG-ish. But yeah, like it's sort of got a very similar archetype to the way it approaches combat and horde mode kind of stuff. Like, you know, obviously you have your basic fodder enemies, and then you get these big brutes that sort of pop up from now and then. But yeah, it seems like they're definitely leaning a bit harder into the weaponry on the range side this time. So maybe, you know, everyone seems to have their kind of version of a ranged weapon. Some people or archetypes of certain like classes seem to be a bit more either melee or ranged kind of weighted, depending on who you play, or you get kind of a blend. But I'm really keen for this, Grizz. We've spoken about it at great length, so we won't go into too much detail, but I will say, Grizz, a while back when I was streaming once upon a time back in the day, I was playing Demon Souls, right? And this bloke came into my stream and he was like, "Oh man, I hope you're enjoying the game." And I was like, "Dude, it's fucking sweet." He was like, "Yeah, I did the all the combat voices for it." And it was this guy called Alex Jordan, right? And I followed him on Twitter, and you know, he used to drop into my streams every now and then. Really, really cool guy from the UK, voice actor. And he is actually doing voices in this game as well.
No, really, dude.
Yeah,
that's
legit.
Sick, man.
Very, very fucking rad. So go and check out Alex Jordan and go and see his bits and pieces. He's a fucking legend. And I believe he's doing a lot of the combat noises, so grunts and fucking. Yeah, basically.
I reckon you could do that. I reckon you could do that, Cap, pretty well.
I do it every day. Do it every day when I get in and out of the car. But yes, anyways, there you go. Now, Grizz, Hogwarts Legacy also released a story trailer. Yep. Did you have a bit of a look at that?
I did have a bit of a look at this, mate, and it is well, they've just shown a lot about the dark side, mate. So you see here a little bit
the dark arts, Grizzly.
The dark
Don't
arts.
use
What's
the
that?
dark magic, Grizzly.
Yeah, what's that spell? The one that kills
Expelliarmus?
people?
No, I don't know.
Avada Kedavra.
Probably that one.
They do that on the door, I think, to open some fucking thing up in here. So there you go. But I do kind of like the way they're marketing this so far to us, Cap. I feel like they're showing us little snippets and bits and pieces that I feel like innately all of us deep inside know which Hogwarts house we're in.
Yep.
Pav, Slytherin, obviously, and Hufflepuff for you and I. But so as obviously they're marketing this to you know, appeal to everyone's inner Hogwarts class and that kind of thing. So yeah, kind of cool.
It looks interesting. They've definitely gone pretty dark on the trailer. I mean, it's still kind of Hogwartsy. You know, it's still not. I wouldn't say childish, but you know, the kind of tone of the trailer is definitely a little bit more dark and skeletal and zombie-ish. So, but yeah, I think it's still looking pretty good. The graphics are looking pretty good. It'd be interesting to see how the combat truly goes when we see the actual final release. But for now, looking pretty interesting, Grizz. So
Mhm.
yeah, there you go. Now, Grizz, Callisto Protocol. We've spoken about this a fair bit.
Yep. Yep. The old Callisto
Now,
Protocol. What did we see? A new trailer? Did we, Capo?
we did see a new trailer, another kind of short gameplay segment. You kind of see the main protagonist. Again, for those who can't quite remember, this is the Dead Space kind of spiritual successor made by a couple of guys from the same old team that used to work for Visceral Games. Now, we kind of see the main character moving through this kind of, well, I think it's a prison station on a moon or some shit somewhere. Now, they're kind of doing the same old thing with having some of your vital and HUD options on the character itself. So you kind of don't have an awful lot of HUD, if any, apart from kind of like
that.
It looks good. It definitely helps with the immersion, I think.
Yeah.
Now your character's kind of running through this area, and there's he's in like a loggery. What do you call that? Like where like a log processing. They're processing timber and stuff on this moon, which I don't know where the fuck they got that from.
There's no way that those machines would get past health and safety, mate. You see that? Look at them.
Mate, they're completely open. Yeah,
they're completely open blades and like, and look how quick they're traveling. Like, come on, mate.
Yeah, so it's like, sorry, caging. That's a brilliant way to put it, mate. It's a sawmill, and the main character's fighting these kind of zombie like I don't know, like mutated things running around. Now, your main character seems to have kind of some kind of physics weapon, think like Half-Life with the force gun. So you can sort of pick up enemies and shoot them into environmental hazards, which kind of seems like the way to approach every enemy, Grizz. Like, he just basically starts to shoot things and does nothing to them, and then just goes, well, I'm just going to put you into the wood chipper.
He pulls out his baseball bat, hits this thing about 13 times, still running at him, and it's just like, you know what?
Yeah, fuck it. I'm just gonna fire you into the wood chipper. So that's pretty cool. And then they go into this sequence where he gets caught in like this canal thing, tube, and is kind of getting sort of like pushed down this river tube thing in this kind of water torrent, and you're kind of dodging pipes and bits and pieces. And spoilers, but right at the end, he gets stuck on a fucking fan, and it just absolutely annihilates him, just like the earlier trailer that we saw before this one. And it is gruesome as fuck, dude. It is brutal. Super gruesome. So it's always going to be worth playing, because, I mean, people try to do deathless runs of games these days, Chris, but it's always going to be worth just trying to get every kind of type of death animation in this game just for the pure goriness of it all.
Cap, you were excited when this first came out because you're a massive fan of the spiritual game that came before this. Not that they're directly related. Did this trailer excite your excitement a little bit more, or how did you honestly feel about it?
Yeah, definitely. I think they're definitely kind of hitting the same notes as Dead Space. How well they flesh out the Callisto Protocol universe, that's going to be the big one for me, because I absolutely consumed every little bit of extra content that they had for Dead Space. So if they can produce some really nice lore and stuff, I'm excited. What about you?
I'm going to be honest, dude. And I don't know, man. This might have actually made me feel a little bit less excited, because I felt it looked more scripted, a little bit more scripted than the last gameplay trailer that we saw. I don't know. Like, it was quite. I don't know. I don't know how to explain this in my head, but I felt like it was a little bit of the samey bits and pieces. I guess we'll see where it lands. Yeah.
One thing I was worried about is the trailer kind of made it feel as if your weapons do fucking nothing, and you just have to constantly be grabbing things with the force gun and shooting them into like environmental hazards. So I really hope that there is some kind of balance between that and your weaponry, but maybe who knows? We'll see how it all plays out when it finally releases. But yeah, so there you go. More Callisto Protocol. Now, Grizz, Sonic Frontiers had a new they reached new frontiers with a new trailer. Now, did you get a chance to watch this one as well?
I did have a bit of a look at this one, and finally, Cap, we have some story elements. I feel like this is something that has been missing from these since we first saw them. And if you hadn't heard us talk about Sonic Frontiers yet, basically we thought it almost looked like a feasibility
Study.
Sonic running around and feasibility study. Very early, like just had a bit of an engine and he's running around
bit
in
of
a
a tech
completely
demo.
unrelated world. Tech demo, yeah. So it's nice to actually see a little bit of substance that's sitting behind the game. What were your thoughts, Cap? What do you think, mate?
I actually thought the trailer looked pretty good. They are kind of stringing things together a little bit more. We see that there's a couple of classic characters coming back, like Amy. We kind of get a little bit more of insight to the kind of combat system, but I thought just the scenes that they strang together looked pretty good. The 3D kind of world, open world stuff, they showed a few more kind of open world areas. It wasn't just green forest. There's obviously kind of some desert area stuff, and we saw a few like canyons and bits and pieces. So it's not just one kind of area. So I thought that looked pretty good.
There's a green hill zone that looked like one of the really early ones, Cap. You know how you're kind of running through and you go around the spiral, and like that, almost like the 2D kind of
So I
style
believe
of
those
the
kind of
early,
areas are kind of like short segments that you can find in the main open world game, and it kind of goes into like a 2.5D level where you kind of try and do it quickly, and I guess probably get a shard or some shit once you finish it in a certain amount of time, or you finish it in general. But yeah, so they do have kind of more classic Sonic-like segments for you to go and complete within the open world area. Now, they also showed off like the main villain, I guess, that is this small chibi anime girl, which I just thought was the most bizarre thing of all fucking time. But very Sonic, very Sonic.
Yeah.
So yeah, but look, I thought the trailer was pretty bloody good, Grizz. I'm probably not going to play it, but I might watch someone play it on Twitch.
Now have a listen to this, Cap. Apparently, during Gamescom, some leaks and spoilers appeared about this game, and Sega had to issue a ban on fan recording. It happened because apparently, in the game they had in the tech booth, had an autosave feature, which meant the players that were playing the game were getting well advanced from where they thought they were going to get to, and they weren't able to reset them back to the start for each one. So people were progressing to much later in the game. Apparently, they found a fishing mini game and a water level that they weren't totally finished with in development. So
sweet.
Yeah,
oh, cool.
Some little interesting bits.
I
And pieces.
love fishing mini games, so maybe we'll get it. Okay. That's actually very interesting. I didn't know about that. That's really cool. I mean, what do you think about the combat, Grizz? Like, it looks fairly Sonic-y.
Yeah, it looks fairly Sonic-y. Run into them when you're in a ball figure and go fast.
Yeah, run circles around them.
I think it would. Yeah, run circles around. I think it's hard. I think it would be hard, man, to make the combat
translate it from 2D to 3D.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's
I thought the exact thing
to do it. And I think we commented on this in the first demos we saw, and it didn't. It looks better now than what it did, but it just kind of looked. Even the hitboxes on some of the old demos looked a bit funny when he was kind of running into them and I just
think they released it too early, dude. I think they probably had maybe shareholders saying, "Hey, we need to fucking share prices looking like shit, boys. What's going? What are you guys doing?" And maybe they just had to release a trailer, and that was the initial trailer, and then obviously people went, "Fucking, this looks like shit." And everyone cracked it big time. But I don't know. I think I don't really know what the general consensus is at the moment, but I think people are less annoyed about it. But I guess we'll see how it goes. All right, now Grizz, The Expanse. You watched any of the Expanse TV show, Grizz?
No, I don't know anything about this, Cap. I'll need you to guide me through this one, mate.
Okay, well, The Expanse is kind of this space sci-fi book series written by a couple of dudes, which then was translated into a TV show, and it's done particularly well. It was originally out on Netflix, and then they moved it on to Amazon because I believe it was Jeff Bezos' favorite TV show. So he basically bought it and said, "Keep making it, please." There you go. Anyways, so they're bringing out a kind of prequel-ish thing going on with one of the main characters in the TV series. Now, if you're only a book reader and you're wondering who the fuck is this person, they're basically an amalgamation of about 3 different book characters. So anyways, you kind of follow the shenanigans of this particular woman who is one of the she's like the security team leader on a station. out in the solar system. And basically, yeah, it looks very gritty. It's a Telltale game, so it's going to kind of a choose your own adventure with 3D element kind of stuff. But yeah, it looks really cool. They've announced that there's going to be some kind of exploration stuff going on, which I don't know if is always the case with Telltale games in the past. But it looks like you'll be able to do some kind of low G anti-gravity spaceship exploration stuff.
It looks interesting. So this is coming out apparently summer 2023, Cap, and the footage we're seeing is some pre-alpha footage.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Will you pick this up, Cap? Is this in your wheelhouse, mate?
I need to try and get through more of the books and/or watch the series. But the series is really good, Grizz. Great one to sit down with the misso and check out. Yeah, really, really good TV show. And it gets better over the progression of everything. I think they do a really good job with it. So they're very good with presenting realistic space stuff. So, what would actually happen to a spaceship if you shot a fucking hole through it?
Like physics and stuff.
Yeah,
like
just
that,
the way they treat physics and stuff. Yeah, like I think they do a really bloody good job. So definitely keen to give it a crack. Will I give it a crack immediately? Depends on how far through the series I am. We'll see.
Okay. There you go, mate. There you go.
Now, one that's probably a little bit more up your wheelhouse, Grizz, Return to Monkey Island. They've released another trailer. Now, what did you think of this one?
Yep.
I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah, dude. I love this. I love it, mate. Everything's looking great. So this is coming out 19th of September. And I don't know if we talked about this, this is Devolver Digital too, mate. So
is it?
It's got to be fucking...
Jesus
it's
Christ,
Devolver
dude.
Digital.
What pie do they not have their finger in? Jesus.
Yeah, exactly, man. All the good stuff.
Well, there you go.
Cap, we've got to talk about the pre-orders, what the pre-orders come with, mate.
Dude, it's so funny. So before we get into the pre-orders, this whole fucking trailer is like this annoying marketing manager who's trying to sell the game to people. And the best thing about it is he's wearing like he's kind of pirate aesthetic, but he's like just waving his arms everywhere, trying to do like marketing speak. And it's just fucking hilarious. Definitely, if you're vaguely interested in Monkey Island, I think you'll get a real fucking kick out of the trailer. It definitely looks like they've got more of the Monkey Island aesthetic and humor going on. I think they do a really good job. But look, walk us through the pre-order bonus, Grizz.
Yep. So you get, we just saw it pop up on the screen. If you were on Twitch there, you would have seen it. But pre-orders come with the free horse around DLC, and it's like a skin for your horse.
Well, no. So what I believe, Grizz, is it's supposed to be horse armor. Now, for the old boys back in the day, you'd know that there was a big horse armor controversy with the Elder Scrolls Oblivion back in the day, where you got this horse armor for pre-ordered stuff. And so it's a bit of a stab and a dig at that. So it's a bit of a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But at the end of the trailer, they go, this horse armor has absolutely nothing in game that will help you perform anything, basically. So it's completely useless. Yeah. But I just thought it was brilliant. I thought the whole trailer was very, very fun.
Now, if you didn't hear us talk about this last time on the podcast, the one thing that was not loved about this new Monkey Island game is the art style. A lot of people were up in arms about the art style because it looks so different to those original games. It's a little bit more, for lack of a better word, hard corners, less kind of soft, rounded edges, like lots of straight lines, I guess, Cap. I don't know. I'm not an art person. But anyway, I really felt that this second trailer has sold the art style to me a lot more.
Yeah. I think so.
And just watching the dialogue and kind of how it works, it's still a Monkey Island game, and I think it looks good. I think it will grow on people when it comes out. With time.
I think so too, Grizz. I really like what they're doing with it, and I think it's going to differentiate the game from previous iterations. And just in general, I think they've done a really good job, and I hope people give it a bit of a chance.
Digital, Cap.
Oh, dude, you can't knock
Digital know what they're fucking doing.
You can't knock them.
Yeah,
can't knock them, mate. Now, Grizz, that basically covers the majority of Gamescom stuff. There was a shitload of other stuff that came out that we just don't have time to go into on this cheeky little 1.5 hour podcast that we do every week. But go and check it out. There's a heap of indie games that were released and announced. So one that I found quite interesting, just off the top of my head, Grizz, one called Weird Song from the vets that worked on Skyrim and Fallout New Vegas, Dragon Age Inquisition, etc. It's a historical fantasy fictionalized version of Portugal in the Middle Ages, which I thought could be pretty cool. We'll see. But it's no gameplay yet. But look, that gives you an idea of some of the stuff we missed. So if you're interested in what came out of Gamescom, go and do a bit of research. And yeah, maybe we'll post a few interesting things on our Twitter over the week of stuff we thought was pretty cool from Gamescom, just to get you guys caught up with things you might have missed we weren't able to cover here. But yeah, so keep an eye out for that. Speaking of Twitter, you can follow us on twitter.com/OGR show, and we have an OGR poll every freaking week, baby. We released this poll on Sunday last week, and we wanted to know, Grizz, we probably should have gone through this earlier when we talked about the controller stuff, but we didn't. It's just how it is sometimes. But Grizz.
Can't be perfect, Capo. It's all
No.
good, mate. Yes, sir. Yes.
No, you can't be perfect, but you can be close. So what did we ask, mate?
All right. So we wanted to know, guys, about with the announcement of the new PS5 DualSense Edge controller, we want to know your favorite base level current gen controller. We'd also love to hear thoughts about the new PS5 controller in the comments. So, Cap, what do we have? What were the options? What did we get?
So we had the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons, the Switch Pro controller, the Xbox controller, and the PS5 controller. Now, these are controllers of current gen. Again, I think you kind of noted that, Grizz. So we didn't, we weren't doing the Super Nintendo controller. We're doing base level current iterations. Okay, so those are the ones we have. We also only get 4 options in these polls, so we got to think real fucking hard about what we're going to put on the plate. So, anyways, we did it. Now, do you want me to go through the fucking percentiles?
Yeah, go for it, mate. Do it. Yeah.
All right. So we had a shitload of votes actually for our polls. This is probably one of our most popular polls yet. So, with 4.5% of the vote was the Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. So, yeah,
probably
not too many people keen on the old Joy-Con. Now, in third place, with 25% of the vote, was the Switch Pro controller, which I actually think did pretty well considering overall. So it took out a fair chunk. And so overall, I guess Nintendo took away what's that? 29.5% of the vote. So not bad. Now, Grizz, with 31.8% of the vote, the Xbox controller. And 38.6% the PS5 controller. So
now
there you go.
It was interesting watching these results, Cap, because before we plugged it this afternoon and said, "Hey, you've still got time to vote on the poll."
It was tight.
The Xbox controller, it was tight, or the Xbox controller may be slightly in front. Now, I will say here that I put in the PS5 controller, but that is because I haven't played on an Xbox controller. I don't have Xbox stuff, so I don't know. I kind of felt like I, am ill-informed, good sir.
Oh, well, mate, I think, I don't know, Grizz. I went the PS5 controller. I've played on them all. I think the current iterations of stuff these days are all pretty similar. But, they've got their own kind of slight, change on the standard formula. But I definitely feel like, for me, I think the PS5 controller is definitely most comfortable. Now, our good friend Nibs jumped in and said, I get a lot of cramps with the DualSense. I feel like the controller is too bulky at times, and to top it off, the adaptive triggers add to the strain, which I kind of get that.
The haptic feedback triggers can be quite hard to get
push
to trigger in certain games. Yeah, absolutely.
As a man over 30 years old, mate, my hands and my back don't work so well anymore, mate. So, I need as much help as I can get.
I will say, Cap, that controllers have come a hell of a long way, mate. I mean, I've played a lot of Kaizo and Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, and I tell you what, Super Nintendo controllers are the worst because they're not rounded to your hands. It's such a 2D thing that you're holding that you're having the grip, your fingers, it causes massive strain through your hands. Now, I would like to shout out the Switch Pro controller, Cap, because I actually think the Switch Pro controller was a fantastic.
Absolutely.
You can really notice the difference playing on a Switch Pro controller over the Joy-Cons for me. I reckon
dude. I hate playing on the Joy-Cons. It was such a gimmick back in the day when I first tried them, because I could lie down on my bed horizontal with my arms by my side and not have to have my arms in front of me. But I mean, that gets pretty old after about 2 seconds of doing it.
So Cap Lee was in the 4.5% for the Joy-Cons. Makes a very good point there, saying, I just like having my arms apart.
Yeah.
Which
I do like that sensation, I must admit. That's probably and Caging's saying it as well. That's the best part about those controllers is you don't have to unify your arms together to, fit one mold, right? You can split.
Yeah.
Kind of like the twin poles that you get from the shops. So yeah, it's the twin pole version of the controller. But there you go. So another successful poll. Now, if you guys want to vote next week's poll, all you got to do is go and follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/OGR show. We release something every weekend, any day between Friday and Sunday, depending on how hungover and or smart we are. But yeah, so continue voting and appreciate you. Now, Grizz.
Yes, sir.
Let's do it. We got a quick fire. We can squeeze this in, mate. Let's go. We can do it.
All right, let's do it, mate. Yep, let's do it.
This is going to be a bit of a longer episode, but look, Gamescom's it's a big one, It's a big one. All right, Grizz. First one off the rank, Wii U. The Wii U emulator, CEMU, is now open source, which is great. Why? Because it means other people can now work on. It seems like the person who is the lead developer for this particular emulator is basically getting a bit burnt out. So other people can jump in, add new features, new compatibilities, improve things. So it's good. It's a good thing. It's a good thing overall. So there you go, Grizz. Very, very cool stuff.
Open source.
Open source, baby. Open source. Open the tomato sauce. All right, Grizz.
All right.
Next one.
I'll go to the next one, Capo. Yep, I've got it, mate. PS5 price to increase in all select markets due to global economic environment, including high inflation rates. So if you're hoping to finally pre-order that PS5 and go pick one up, well, I've got news for you, pal.
You have to put aside a bit more money.
Yeah, a couple of extra bucks.
Now, the only place you're not going to have to do that, Grizz, is USA.
Why is that, Cap? Is that because they got heaps of silicon in their...
Well, they do have Silicon Valley there, mate. So maybe they went to the silicon mines there and, I don't know. Yeah. I'm not too sure. Great joke, Capo. Anyways, money getting more expensive. Don't know how I feel about this, especially with the next couple of things that we're going to talk about. Xbox is not going to be following suit, Grizz, nor is Nintendo. Both have come out to say, hey, that's great, Sony, but we're not going to be doing that. So what makes me wonder on this, Grizz, is if these guys are happy to eat because components obviously change price, etc. It's interesting that Sony found the need to pump their prices up.
Hike the price, yeah. Maybe they have so much faith in that their consoles, when they have them available,
positive
they're going to sell.
Yeah, and I mean, we're coming close to a holiday period, right, Grizz? Like, they're probably going to have a big amount of console influx towards the end of the year. I would have thought maybe there's some changes in the amount of stock they're going to be able to produce this time around. Maybe they're finally addressing some of their stock issues, and they've gone, you know what, fuck it, let's raise the price a little bit. Maybe. Don't know.
Maybe.
Regardless,
all right, Cap, so
still interesting.
The troubled Star Wars video game remake shifts to a new studio. So this is the highly anticipated remake of the video game Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic has a new developer after a bumpy ride. Who's the new developer, Cap?
So I believe it's Saber Interactive, and they're an EU company. Right. So it's moved all the way from Texas to Europe. Wow. So, there was a lot of shit that went down, basically. We won't go into all of it, but essentially a lot of troubled development. I think initial sort of implementations of the game were not well received by stockholders and stakeholders. And so they basically pulled it out of their hands and said, no fucking way, you're touching this, pal. So there you go. Now
this is an interesting little tidbit on the end here, Cap. They've said Embracer is not expecting any material delays due to the transition. However, the Embracer stocks bloody tumbled on Monday after the lukewarm reviews of the upcoming game Saints Row. Yeah, they've lost 28% of their stock. So interesting little tidbit there on Embracer.
That's actually brutal for one game, really, when you think about it, isn't it? 28% of your stock. And from all accounts, Grizz, Saints Row is fucking garbage. So, The
We
old,
kind of picked that, dude, when we looked at it because
Oh, yeah.
they gave away their hand too much on that release. They basically showed us
Yeah.
this is everything you can do. You can fly and you can explore.
It just
and
looked
that's
fucking boring.
It's the whole game, mate. That's
Yeah,
it.
they gave away their hand and they had about one card in their hand, mate. They said, this game's shit. But yeah, anyways. Now, Grizz, over the week, there were rumors that were bubbling to the surface that Amazon was getting ready to buy EA, which led to quite a significant stock price surge for EA. And EA has announced kind of that they are looking for a buyer. But it turned out that ultimately that was untrue. So EA got a little bit of a stock price pump up for no particular reason.
Cheeky buggers, mate. Cheeky buggers.
Classic. So there you go.
Wow.
All right, Grizz, next one.
I haven't looked at this. Star Wars KOTOR remake finds a new home. Did
You
we
just said
read
that one. Yeah.
Oh,
You missed
okay, my
one, so
bad.
I got the one you missed.
Oh, you're a legend. Dark Souls 3 servers back online after being down for never 7 months. We talked about this vulnerability. So how did they fix this, Cap? How did they fix their
there's no
servers?
information on how they fixed it. I dare say that whatever the vulnerability was, it probably affected Elden Ring, and they managed to fix it in Elden Ring before that came out. Then they had to go back and retroactively fix Dark Souls 3, and they're obviously going to have to go and do that with 2 and 1 as well. So
Cap,
1 and 2
is anyone
still
playing
offline.
Dark Souls 3 online now that they've got Elden Ring online? Surely not.
Well, a lot of people
surely.
aren't stoked with the PvP scene in Elden Ring at the moment, or they weren't before the new patch came out. I think a lot of people are much happier with the state of PvP in Elden Ring. But yeah, I think there's a lot of people that are probably still playing Dark Souls 3. You know what the Soulsborne community's like, Grizz? There's people that play fucking Dark Souls 1 still. There's people who play fucking Demon Souls probably. So, you know, that's how it be. All right, Grizz, now the 9th Game Awards. Now, this is the one that gets hosted at the end of every year by Jeff Keighley. It is set for the 8th of December and is going to be taking place in the Microsoft Theatre in LA. So lock that one into your calendars. Jeff Keighley he's going in hot. There you go.
Hot dang, mate.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Very interesting, Cap. So, Cap, during the Nintendo Treehouse Live event, we got to see quite a bit of Harvestella gameplay. If you don't know what Harvestella is, it is an exploration action sandbox game where you will wake with amnesia and have no idea where you are. Looks quite interesting, Cap.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at this webpage you've linked
Kind
there.
of looks like a mix between like Final Fantasy and like I think they call it Rune Factory or something. There's like kind of crop management and farming, but also a bit of like kind of Final Fantasy-esque kind of combat.
Harvestella. There you go. Harvest your plants.
Harvestella. So yeah, it looks all right. I don't know. I probably won't play it. Another JRPG that looks fairly average, but the other thing, Grizz, they showed off a shitload more of Splatoon.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So there's a lot of Splatoon stuff, and Splatoon is looking fucking sick, dude. You and me and Pavo, we're getting our Switches out, boys.
All right,
we're getting our Switches out. It's happening. All right, now Grizz, we've got a fucking release window, baby. The PlayStation VR 2 is coming in 2023. I think we kind of expected that, but it's coming early.
Heaps of cool stuff coming early next year by the sounds of things, Cap, between games and this PSVR 2.
Yeah.
Dang.
Very exciting, mate. So there you go, guys. Lock that one into your calendar as well. PSVR 2 coming soon.
Cap, The Last of Us, a HBO show, has released their first trailer where we see actors and whatnot.
Yep.
What do you think, mate? Look,
there's not an awful lot there, but I don't know. The aesthetic looks pretty cool, and they've got Bella Ramsey and oh god, what's the guy's name? The Mandalorian man. Can't think of his name. Is it Pablo? I can't remember. But yeah, they do some very small scenes. Like there's probably only about 20 seconds worth of stuff in it.
HBO have got it, mate. Between that Dance of Dragons or whatever it is, the new Game of Thrones thing, and like this Last of Us, I need to get on it, man. I need to get on it.
Oh yeah, but yeah, it looks good so far. So yeah, I'll definitely watch it. The Last of Us is a brilliant IP, so very keen. Now, Grizz, Sony's also reportedly making a Days Gone movie. Now, Days Gone was that sort of biker apocalyptic zombie thing they had for a little while that didn't do amazingly, I don't think, but I think it'll probably work as a movie actually.
You think it'll be okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people played it on release. It never really stood out to me as being amazing. I never checked it out.
Yeah, I never did either, but it is free on the PlayStation Plus old mate. So you know, you can go and give
check
that
it
a
out.
crack if you really like. But yeah,
This is the
so yeah.
last quickfire one, Capo. Another movie related one, but Horizon Zero Dawn Netflix show is incoming by Umbrella Academy. So we know who's making it now. But yeah, I think this would make a great TV show.
Yeah,
in all
I
honesty.
reckon they
The
could do some really cool shit with this.
yeah, post-apocalyptic and
Dude, they have to
just
go
cool.
all in. Like they have to fucking
Yeah?
put some cash behind this, in my opinion. If they can't,
What do you
Oh man, you know they
What do you
like
think of Netflix, mate? Kind of holding this. Do you feel that could work not in its
I
favor?
really hope
know.
that they do put cash into it. I know Netflix isn't doing amazingly in the market, like just
Yeah.
market wise at the moment. And I think if they really want this to stand out and people go, holy fuck, I just think the CGI has to be out of control. So I like, God, if they do a shit job of the CGI and just the costume stuff and just the overall world building, yeah, I don't know, Grizz. It could turn out pretty nasty, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's our show. That's it. That's all done. We're all it's all
We got
over.
there.
We did it. I think it was
Woo.
about an hour and 45, which a bit longer than usual, but you know, not too bad. Not too bad.
Gamescom, mate.
Yeah, Gamescom. But yeah,
You
guys,
picked a big one when I'm hungover, Cap. You bastard! You did it to me, mate.
Well, it wasn't me who did it. It was Germany who did it to you, mate. Okay.
Buddy, yep.
If I'll get them to be a bit more considerate of your drinking schedule next time. But yeah, so guys, thank you so much for being here. As always, everyone in the Twitch chat, Caging Runt, Lee GD, good old blindsided Moosh. Who else we got in here? We had Fluky earlier giving us a bit of a raid. Sukai, as always, guys, we really appreciate you being in here and joining in the discussion. And if you guys want to jump in next time, if you're listening to this via podcast, you can jump in every Monday night from 7 p.m. AWST. Just go to twitch.tv/Oceanic Gaming Radio, and you'll find us recording live. So there you go. Otherwise, if you want to watch this via or listen to it via podcast, you can find it on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Yeah, just go ahead and search Oceanic Gaming Radio, and I'm sure you will find it. Look for the ogre that was designed by Blindside Moose. Now, closing out, again, please go and follow us on Twitter. That's twitter.com/OGR show. You can go and vote in the week's polls, and we will be endeavoring to release some little tidbits of tweets here and there. Probably sort of bring up to date on some of the smaller stories that came from Gamescom over the week. And please go and jump in our Discord as well. If you want a link to that Discord, just look at our link tree or check the description of this podcast and or the description of our Twitch and or in the Twitter, the fucking chat right now. Can't talk. And the final thing is a big thanks to our patrons. As always, bloody appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for just, you know, being the absolute MVPs and, you know, just helping keeping the lights on. Bloody appreciate you. If you want to become a patron, you can too. Patreon.com/OGR show. But that's all from us. We appreciate you. Sorry for the long episode. A little bit longer than usual, but we think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, we'll catch you next time on the show.
See you later.
Peace out, Brussels sprouts.
Bye.
Well, that's a wrap.
That's a
It's a
wrap.
wrap. We did it. It's a
What was
solid
the total
wrap.
time?
I don't know. I think it's about after schmooving in on that quickfire, I think we landed on about 140 something. So not too bad. I did actually.
Pretty close.
Yeah, no, not too bad at all. I did actually message you in the.
I saw
Ninja
that very
message.
late as we're about to start the thing. I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, I was like, so yeah, I was gonna say just do an Excel episode, try and get an extra topic in, but that's all good. No dramas.
Yeah. Sweet.
Bloody beautiful, boys.
I think that was good. I think we did a pretty good job of just like getting the Gamescom out the road.
Yeah, moving it
we
through.
Didn't I think we lingered as much as we needed to on a lot of the topics as well. Didn't kind of go too far into anything.
Yeah, I think we lingered on the ones we we needed to for sure. I like the way that you left out the PoE because I wouldn't mind covering that in a bit of a deep dive.
I thought the
next
same
week.
thing, Grizz. I reckon we'll cover Path of Exile next week. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete everything except that. And
Cool.
Saints Row, yeah, whatever.
Just leave it. I don't think anyone needs.
I don't think anyone
Thanks
gives
for
a shit
turning
about
out
Saints Row.
tonight, you bloody legends in the chat, though. Appreciate
Yeah, guys,
yous
thanks
all.
for hanging as always. Bloody God, you guys are fucking amazing. Appreciate you. Now,
sorry again. Chat. The audio hasn't been amazing for stream this week, but it's going to be perfect on the audio for the podcast. So if you'd like to re-listen with crisp audio, check out the Spotify tomorrow morning.
Was the laptop fine? Was it?
The laptop was fine, dude. It's literally just the PC. It does need to be replaced.
something
Oh,
going
this
on.
is sorted it, mate. This is sorted.
Well, at least we
out.
know for sure.
Yeah.
You know what we could probably do is maybe run the stream off Grizz's side, if that works.
Well, the only thing is, I had weird audio
Yeah.
issues when I tried to do that last.
That was when
that's
you
right.
recorded, and streaming is probably going to take a high intensity.
Can try it.
Give it a shot.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, hang
Do a
on,
test.
because can't you just record can't you just have the ninja going, Pav, and you take the ninja and then Grizz just record the window?
Yeah.
Because then
Oh, wait,
you're
wait,
not
wait.
having to record Grizz, and then also you can do the media capture, and it'd probably be high FPS.
The media would be better on your
Just a
side.
thought. We can talk about
Yeah, it
it.
did a weird thing where after you had it up for a while, it fucking started to.
And might also,
Chugging.
yeah.
Let's talk about it.
It was
Sort it.
perfect. It was perfect at the beginning.
I'm
Weird.
looking to claim a new PC as a business right. That's exactly
I need
right.
to
Yeah,
before I buy the PC, I need to set up my ABN and business stuff again so I can claim it on tax
man.
next year. I need to
There you
set
go.
up-
Oh,
Lee
boy.
goes back and listens to the ones that they miss, so that's pretty cool.
Really? Fuck yeah. No, we appreciate that big time. Yeah, getting listens. Actually, I tell you what, our numbers have been really good recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Last week was last 2 weeks were probably our biggest since like our first couple of weeks, which was had all the hype
Yeah.
behind it. So actually, I think we hit our new highest listens last week,
Dang.
which is
Which is
insane.
nuts. Very
Insane.
nuts.
Very
Very
good.
cool.
Yeah, we featured on the Australian top 33 gaming podcasts or some shit on the Apple. Because the one thing this is interesting for you people in the chat here, but our listens were skewed towards Spotify. They're now skewed towards Apple. What is it? What's it called, Pav? Apple something?
Apple Podcasts. I think
Apple
Podcasts.
Podcasts. Yeah.
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 So I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on there. You listen to
Yeah, well,
it.
our Apple listens were directly once we started showing on the top list. So maybe it's
Ooh,
new.
yeah, maybe.
Maybe it's new listeners. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder whether we've had like
It was always like about 20% of our audience was Apple, 20
Yeah.
to 30%, but it went to
Yeah.
51% last week.
Weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Very
Who knows?
interesting.
We
Organic
must just,
listenage.
just get featured here and there, and then it just off we go. That's it.
Maybe.
Away it goes.
Where
Yeah.
do you guys want to go for this raid, boys?
Because,
Desane is around.
oh, we haven't done a death raid, have we?
Oh, dude, let's do a Desane raid.
He's a
Yep.
good dude.
Are you kidding me? I don't think I followed Desane. What the fuck?
Wow.
Oh
shit bloke.
my god. But yeah, hope you guys are enjoying, I don't know, just the podcast in general. I hope the kind of quality of our content is improving over time. Definitely open to any suggestions. And, just criticism, I suppose. Just like, yeah, we'd just love to know what you guys think. If you are seeing a noticed improvement in the way that we're approaching the podcast over time. And if you are, I mean, obviously you guys keep coming back, so we must be doing something right, but still.
I've actually been out and about on occasion on the weekends, and I often get a few compliments from some locals who listen,
Which is fucking
tune in,
rad.
which is very cool. Very,
We should
very
come
cool.
to these events just to
We
like.
should, dude.
I reckon networking is big too, right?
Oh,
Drink some beers
absolutely,
and
dude.
meet some folk.
Absolutely.
Plus, you get
Yeah.
to drink beers at those places as well, which
Well,
I'm pretty good at that.
fellas, October, if October 28th, I'm going to be doing a Stream Perth event in the city after work, and then leading into a night out. So if you're free that night,
Hey,
When was that?
make it happen.
October
It's
the 28th.
yeah, it'll be a Halloween event.
I'll see how I go. I'll have a baby by then.
You will have a baby by then.
yeah.
So
Jesus,
play
that's not far away.
it by ear, but yeah, that's.
Hey,
that's
is
probably
anyone
next
heading
opportunity.
to Pixel? Is it what's it called? Pixel Sif, Pav?
Pixel
You may-
Expo is this
Pixel Expo.
weekend.
You may see me on a screen
You
playing
may see,
Cuphead.
you may see, assuming they're happy to,
Hey, get
assuming they're happy
Niche.
to censor all your mature
listened to
content.
it? Have
I
you
listened to it and I was just shaking my head. I was like, I cannot put this in a public.
Yeah,
you were talking about shaving someone's nuts, dude. I was like, there's gonna be families here. We can't do that.
I'm pretty sure that speed run was actually pretty hectic.
Yeah, it
in terms of
was.
the chat, like-
There was a chatter in your stream who left because everything was too crude.
yeah. Someone left.
And vocally left because it was crude.
I actually watched that back and I was like, maybe this isn't the best idea.
Fucking
But
lol.
I think we've penciled you in for around 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock on the games room screen, but I think we're going to be muting it and just playing Cuphead music over it.
Yeah, just fucking do that. I do have there's probably a better one. I'll send it to you, man. There's a Invictus run. Kaiser.
I think Cuphead was a better fit for
Cuphead? Yeah.
for the room.
I
Yeah, I did
know.
get them both of them.
I think the same went offline. Freck.
Oh,
Yeah. Desane hosted Steve Vegeta.
we did do a Steve
I think
raid recently.
we rated Steve recently.
If there's anyone else,
Updating
otherwise,
Steam stream. Oh, do we still have this thing saying coming soon or some shit?
probably.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
A new
We need
Aussie
to-
show.
I believe that was someone's job over here. I think we split that up. I think we split that amongst ourselves.
I think I tried to update it, and our bio was too long. to
Oh, it
fit
was
in
too
there.
long. That's right.
I might
So
try and get
yeah.
in there in the week. I also want to try and get some sound clips for the quickfire.
Yes.
And
Link
even
them
like
to me, and
another
I can make it
Do
work.
another run, Chris.
Get
I'd
another
be
sound
fucking
clip for when
shit.
we start our main topics as well. Like just the beginning. Like I know we've already got the intro music, but like we obviously have the banner section. Then it'd be good to have like a little sound cut that goes into us talking about the main topics, and then another one when we do the poll.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be good. It'd be good if we could get some stuff.
Love
Mhm.
So,
Yep,
Absolutely.
love it. Kane, man. Kane.
Yeah.
Stupid
my
shit,
coughing.
Cap. We need stupid
yeah.
shit. All right, so
Oh,
who
yeah.
else have we got? Because I need to go do the dishes. 'Cause,
I need to go edit
you
this
know,
episode.
fuck.
I don't even have my thing.
Raw Genesis is on.
I don't know who that is.
Linvelin is on. Stormy's on. Dirk.
Could be Stormy again.
JJ Big Mac is on.
Oh,
I'm here.
why don't we do JJ?
I don't know who JJ is. Who's JJ?
JJ was
GZ.
maybe GZ.
Oh.
Is he still GZ? He was a pro. He was a pro Fortnite player for him.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even recognize the name.
That or Stormy,
Let's
I
go
reckon.
Let's go see JJ, man.
Alright.
I think it's good
Bang
to
it in.
share us around.
Yeah.
All right, bang it in. I haven't got it up, Cap. You got it. Have you got it kicking, mate?
If you can give
do,
me the name, I can do it.
do you reckon
yeah.
they would remember who we are?
He'll know me and Cap for
Alright,
sure.
cool.
Well, he'll know me.
Oh, because you guys used to play Fortnite with him.
Yeah, he used to come and do shit on stream with me sometimes.
Oh,
Every
nice.
now and
Okay, cool.
Was it just JJ Big Mac?
then. Hang on. Where do I place
Oh,
this?
that name is starting to ring a bell, actually. I think I remember from promos.
Oh, shit. Okay. God, I'm so fucking unorganized. Here we go. Here you go. JJ Big Mac. GG Big Mac.
All
Get it in
right.
there. There you go. Cool. Shall we pop?
Smoke.
Yeah, smoke. That's the one.
Fast and Furious.
Get it, Cap?
You got it.
Oh yeah. Oh mate, what have you done?
Oh, just
Fucking
a little
it up.
fucking extra thing in there. Hey.
All right, guys, chuck him in. Say good day to JJ Big Mac for us. We bloody appreciate it. Yeah, go and
Oh,
tell your
really
mates about
good
the
raid
podcast.
last week too. When we raided Jazz, people
Oh,
go
that was a ripper. Yep.
going nuts. Do that again. Do it.
All right. Launch that raid, fellas. We will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Adios.